Alright, as usual, when a new striker adjacent card comes out, I usually just go over it and give my thoughts and some random examples of why I think it's good or bad. And today we have Ultimate Sky, revealed around probably 10 hours ago now. And it says, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Ultimate Sky once per turn. Target face-up cards on the field up to the number of face-up monsters your opponent controls, and pay 800 life points for each target. Negate their effects until the end of the turn. And the second effect is, when your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, negate that effect. It doesn't negate activations, but it's monster effects, so that's not really that relevant. But either way, with the second effect, this is most likely comparable to Called by the Grave. Obviously you can't use it going first unless they did something like summon a Bestial or whatever other card on your turn. But this is very helpful because when you're playing into a board, you'll often see cards like Droll on your Engage, Ash on your 0 or Engage, Bell on your 0, Maxi in the standby phase, and that basically stops this. So it is extra copies of Call by the Grave, but it removes the most frustrating part about Call by the Grave, at least for me, which is when someone wins the coin flip, go first, they combo, and then they have Call by for your hand trap. So I guess Call by is banned in the OCG now, and I guess they want this to replace it. And I honestly think this is a very good replacement, but it obviously doesn't only have one effect. It also says target face-up cards on the field up to the number of monsters your opponent controls. So why this is relevant is that it occupies an almost entirely unique niche in what it does, because the only other card like that is Blizzard, or at least that sees relevant play is Blizzard. So it has a hot red type negate. It can, like, obviously floodgates, these have kind of fallen by the wayside. Obviously people still do cite them in TCG where they're legal, because like you have to draw the Fallen Virtuous or the MST to deal with it or you lose, but this card can also deal with floodgates for the turn, which is pretty nice. But what it does that's very unique is it deals with cards like Eradicator, D-Barrier. I mean, obviously this doesn't apply to Striker as much. It deals with like common normal traps that would otherwise be impossible to deal with, because the hot red type negate on a generic staple is very rare. So I think, like, because of that, it's obviously going to find a way into a lot of decks, but I think a card like this really shines for Striker, because obviously all decks benefit from Called by, but Striker is one that really wants to push through the board, and having something that stops hand traps is nice, and something that also neutralizes the threats on the board is nice, and this fills both of those roles. Obviously it's a lot weaker in other decks when you're going first, but something unique about decks like Striker, and I guess stuff that ends on a low monster count like Marincess, is that this card will actually be live with the negate going first, because you're ending on one monster, and in Striker's case you can also tribute off 0 to pop something. And additionally, like, not only does it protect you from not only does it like let you tribute 0 to pop something, like if you tribute your 0 to pop something, it can also double as a protect for 0 from Bell or whatever. So I think this card is extremely strong. It'll probably be a 3 of in Striker, or at least I'll definitely run 3 of it. And that's probably going to be all for now, and thanks for watching.